life and little sports. You know we're gonna play some games. And if nothing else, you know we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah. 'Cause this is the podcast.
I just got out of the CTV prison shower that I've talked about on previous episodes.
Why didn't you use the nice shower down the green room?
I don't know. There's too many people around. I get a little nervous that someone might walk in. Have you used that yet?
No, but actually considered doing it.
Yeah, I should because, and the worst thing was, so I got to play golf this morning and just raced in here and I forgot like soap and shampoo. So then you have to make the difficult decision of, there's always like about 2 little chunks of old soap in the prison showers.
Yep.
Right.
And like a little remnants of somebody's shampoo.
Yep.
I did not. Would you? This should actually be a hypothetical, but I did not. I did not pluck the soap. I could not do that.
But I mean, isn't soap always clean?
Because soap is soap. It's self-cleaning. All right. Well, next time you take a shower, think about the last thing I wash and the first thing you wash.
But if something that cleans you, it has to always be clean.
You would think.
I take that philosophy always, but I'm not sure that that's the case. But I used somebody's old shampoo. I just didn't go with the soap. I just washed myself.
Well, you can do the body wash with the shampoo.
Body wash with the nice cold water.
For sure.
I don't think. But the point is this. Reason number 487.8, section 2, why men are disgusting. In that washroom, I use the urinals.
Yeah.
Why is there always a giant puddle of urine underneath every urinal?
That's a good question.
People don't know how to pee properly.
Seriously, do you think you ever miss? Do you ever miss? I can see like there's sometimes you get, if you get a heavy stream, sometimes there's a reflex. Like you get like boom, it goes off the side, and a drop might go on the ground. But people must miss in huge quantities.
Well, if my kids are anywhere near a urinal, there's piss on the ground. They miss all the time.
Little boys miss all over the place,
That I
right?
understand.
But men should not miss to the degree that they miss.
You should bat like a safe percentage.
Yeah, it should be like a 947.
Yeah, like
right?
it should be pretty high.
And I know there's an accumulation after 100 men might use a urinal, like in a bar or something.
That'd be a couple of 100 drops there, you know.
But this leads me to a happy ending.
Oh wow!
Look out.
Where is this washroom?
No, wait a second. Not that.
Hold on. Yeah.
Not that kind.
Look out.
We went out for dinner, the family, for Mother's Day.
Nice.
Saturday night during the game. I left, did Sports Center, left, came back, and we went to Joey's. Great franchise in Canada.
Very nice.
Would be a great sponsor for the podcast.
Oh,
Joey's would be
fantastic.
fantastic for the sponsor.
Joey's, the one that I was in, has like a grill underneath the urinal.
Oh.
So the urine that misses the urinal collects and filters into some unknown land.
Wow.
Like into the sewers.
I don't know if I like that.
Poor guy.
That's a
has to clean
genius.
that.
That's a genius
go?
idea. Well, it probably goes into the same place.
Well, I hope so.
Where do you think it
hope so.
goes?
It goes where the fancy
A lot of
pee goes.
conspiracy
You think it goes to the community waiting pools?
You never know. You never know. Where are they
Anyway.
cooking those fries in?
Shout out to Joey's
Which
for having
Joey's did you
a
go to? The
brilliant
one
grill.
over at Shops at Don Mills?
Markville Mall, the suburban Joey's. Halfway
Shops at Don
between
Mills.
my home and the CTV network
Oh,
station
nice.
where
Nice.
we are currently functioning
That
right
makes
now.
Yeah, my dad and I always go to the one at Shops at Don Mills. We
Yeah.
have some favorites in there.
Yeah, so that's a nice
Waitresses were talking about you and your dad.
Yeah.
You
How
and your
long is it
dad
till you
bird
take your
dogging?
gambling addicted children into that?
Oh, they'll be coming with me soon. It's one day.
If Vegas were to make the Stanley Cup final, would you bring your gambling addicted?
No, but they'll be pissed. My kid's favorite second team is Vegas.
Really?
They
I
love
wonder
it.
if that's happening a lot with the children.
Probably they've fancy new.
We'll get into that in our fandom question a little bit later on. This is episode 30 of the Rubber Boots Pod. Thank you for joining us, everyone. There's our boy Puffy, our boy Lester, and Stoff is behind the glass once again. A lot of people have been asking, where is Roddy? Roddy's, the Rod Smith recap. Just Ask Him was the most popular segment on the podcast. Roddy's been on extensive vacation preparing for
pro football,
the CFL season, but he apparently left us a voicemail.
Oh, God.
So just to check in. So let's hear from Roddy.
Hey, boys. It's Rod, baby. Still on vacay. Wanted to say sorry I haven't been around the last few weeks. No, not sorry to you clowns. Sorry to the ladies listening, and sorry to myself for not invoicing your asses. Could use the cash. Been island hopping and had to drop the Grey Goose order for my G5 from 7 cases to 6. Speaking of which, you'll never guess where I just landed. Slovenia. Got a new lady. Helen Mirren was just too needy, and I was growing tired of Kate Upton's whole "I'm married to Justin Verlander now" excuse. Anyway, I have to keep my new girl on the low, because technically she still is a guy too. But only on paper. Can't tell your name, but let's just say it rhymes with Felania Stump. She's a beaut, boys. Gotta go. Me and Felania are hitting the ancient spas in Rogaska Slatina. Time to get naked and sweaty. Oh, right, I've been naked and sweaty for 5 straight days. Stay gold, kids. Roddy out.
Wow.
That guy's a hero.
Yeah.
A
I'll tell you that.
new lady for Roddy. I wonder who he means.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Could lead to all sorts of twists and turns.
Oh, could need new characters.
Roddy's in for a big summer, I think. If Roddy had done his recap, the top of the all Roddy would have probably talked about was Lindsay Hamilton's rendition of Chris Isaac's
Haunting
Wicked
rendition.
Game. Okay, so just so everybody knows, I'll confess. I listen to the podcast, as I always do, naked in bed on Saturday night with my wife. That's how we spend our Saturdays.
It's called foreplay, isn't it?
Yeah. And I heard it. Stuff I knew would come through something brilliant. And I just assumed that Lindsay recorded a line talking.
Yeah.
And then Stoff took a version off iTunes.
Which there are versions.
Yeah, of a mainstream singer singing Wicked Game because it was that good.
Yeah.
And then Puffy and I were getting ready to watch a game the other night, and Puffy said, I think it's Lindsay Hamilton. I'm like, it's not Lindsay Hamilton, you idiot.
Yeah,
Puffy said, no, I think it might be. So they called the newsroom, and it was freaking Lindsay Hamilton.
It's I mean, you could hear it, the voice. Like you could hear a voice in it.
Yeah. Let's listen one more time.
Like to dedicate the next one to our good friend Puffy. Gone too soon.
The world was on fire and no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire make foolish people do. No, I don't wanna fall in love. This girl is only gonna break your heart. No, I don't wanna fall in love.
Just ridiculous.
So good.
It's haunting.
It is. I would like that.
Talk it over Lester's part.
Just getting to know you. I love it. Just getting to know you.
Oh, here's something fun. Cabby and our buddy Chambers were in the studio just before we came in.
Oh, okay.
And so we were telling them the story about Lindsay.
Yeah.
So I was playing the song for them.
Yeah.
And Lindsay was doing her part. And the guy started to talk at the end, and Lester was like, "Hey, wait for my part, right?" And they talked right over Lester's part. It was like they belong on the cast of the pod.
Exactly.
Anyway, so how did she sing that into her phone stuff or what?
Yeah, she just sent that to me as a voice note from her phone.
That is unbelievable. Like
Lester, you were great too, but we're used to you being great.
Well,
okay,
listen,
we take you for granted.
Look, she was fantastic. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was in Atlantic City on tour with Elton Ron when Stoff sent the email. So I did it in my hotel room, and I'm listening to this. I'm like, I'm feeling some pressure because it was good. It was really good.
We'll get Lindsay on before the season is over. This is the last episode we're contracted for.
True.
But like Brooklyn 99 or whatever, we think we're going to be renewed by another network.
Somebody's going to come in and just pay us to keep going.
That's right. NBC's going to swoop in. We'll do the next 5 episodes on NBC.
Snackable TV.
Anyway, Lindsay Hamilton, just fantastic job.
I would like that played at my funeral.
Do you think it's freaky, though, that I would have a dream about her singing and she could actually sing?
Maybe subconsciously you knew she could sing. Yeah. She shouldn't be here. She should be using that
She
talent.
should be on tour. She should be in Atlantic City opening. No, Elton Ron should be opening for her. How was Atlantic City?
Atlantic City was great, but I'm just going to say this.
It's a sleazy town, isn't it?
You know what? We were at the Golden Nugget, first of all. The Golden Nugget is one of the the legendary casinos. It's
Yeah.
still like got the 1970s decor in there. So we played in there. That was great. The boardwalk, because of Hurricane Sandy, they're still doing a lot of work on it, but still it was great.
What's the crowd like at the Golden Nugget in Atlantic City? Is it 70-year-old ladies smoking, that kind of crowd?
It was an older demographic, I would say, but still, it was very cool. It was nice.
Awesome.
It was nice. So, I'll be honest with you. There was a point in the show where I was playing, and I turned to the guitarist. I'm like, oh, we're on stage in Atlantic City. That's pretty cool.
That is
Really
pretty cool.
Now, do you guys fly there, or do you take a tour bus?
Three of us flew. The bass player and the guitarist and I flew in and flew
Nice.
out, so it was good. But what I was going to say is, I hope that Lindsay doesn't play guitar, because if she does, this is my last show.
I know.
Easy. It's
I
over.
think you should be trying to scoop her up for a band. You need a
maybe
new
so.
band.
It'll be like Lindsay Hamilton, and then
She can re-record all your
know.
jingles. That would be amazing.
That album would sell like hotcakes.
We've touched on it already, but let's officially get to the week that was.
Let's discuss the week that was with James Duffy and the Rubber Boots Podcast crew.
The week that was is brought to you by our friends at idrinkcoffee.com, the place in the world to get the best coffee delivered right to your house, plus espresso machines and all the wonderful things that come along with that. Go to idrinkcoffee.com when you need some Java. So I was out in Winnipeg, finally got out to the playoffs for the end of the Nashville series. It wasn't actually a good night. That was the night that Nashville crushed them. Before Game 7, it was Game 6, but the crowd was unbelievable. I had an unfortunate incident, though, I wanted to share with you guys that ties a couple of stories together. So we talked about my dad's funeral a couple of weeks ago that was held at my cottage. Obviously, it was too full, the cottage. So one of my mom and dad's best friends, a couple named the Kennedys, just wonderful people, offered to keep our entire family for the weekend.
Wow.
And so we stayed at their place. She made breakfast for us every day. They couldn't have been nicer.
Nice.
She happened to mention to me that one of her sons lives. They were on their way out to Winnipeg because one of their sons manages a hotel out there.
Okay.
So we were staying at the Delta in Winnipeg. And so I get up one morning and I wanted to order room service. It had been a late night the night before. And I called down. Nobody answers the phone. So I'm like, how the hell does nobody answer the phone? Call the front desk. Nobody answers the phone. Literally, I'm not kidding. I put it on speaker. A half an hour, I tried to call. Then I wanted to know where the gym was. No, I could not get anybody
So
answering
no
the phone.
one is manning the
No
phones.
one is manning the phones.
wow, that's weird.
So I don't usually complain at hotels, but I go down and I'm like, can I speak to a manager? And a young lady comes out and I said, just look, I don't care about myself, but you have the Stanley Cup final potentially coming here. And the Delta is one of the biggest hotels in
Yeah,
Winnipeg.
it's huge.
You have to figure this out. You can't have nobody answering the phone for half an hour, in the morning.
No.
They have questions.
Exactly.
Right? So and she wrote me a very apologetic note or whatever, and whatever. So my mom comes down to visit for Mother's Day, and she's like, did you run into the Kennedys out in Winnipeg, the people you stayed with? I'm like, no. She goes, oh, their son manages the Delta out there.
Oh, big time Jimmy.
That's awkward.
So hold on. So his family was very welcoming and understanding towards yours, and you were
Well,
A-list
not only
D-bag.
that, to this assistant manager, I said, you need to pass this on to the manager. James Duffy said, nobody answered his freaking phone. He's a big television deal.
Did I have to spell it for you? I want to sure that
So
gets
now
to
I'm
him.
wondering in my head, does this note get to the manager?
100%.
Does he call his parents and say,
100%.
remember that Duffy dude that stayed at your house?
Wow.
No, but I was polite about it. I didn't ask for anything. I just said, hey, I want you to get this right, for the sake of your future guests.
Because one day your children's going to stay. Your children.
It was
stay
a
at
big
that
mistake.
hotel. Yeah.
What else happened in the past week? The only other interesting thing I wanted to make note of is the sign of the apocalypse that is coming, that in my neighborhood there is a mutant squirrel that is... the front half of the squirrel is black.
Yeah.
And the back half, there's a line right down the middle of the squirrel.
Yeah.
And the back half of the squirrel is brown.
Yeah.
I posted a photo on Instagram. It wasn't a great photo because I couldn't get close enough to the mutant squirrel to get the photo. So people are thinking it's fake. Have you ever seen a mutant squirrel like that?
Never.
Nah, probably
I'm talking right down the middle. Now, its squirrel companion is a black squirrel with a brown tail. So there's some freaky going on with these squirrels.
I told you, Jimmy, in the suburbs, there's a lot of menage a trois. The squirrels are funky, too. what happens out there.
So, do you think that is just a pure mating of a brown
Yeah, it's
and
just a mate.
or maybe a chipmunk and a black squirrel?
Could be a chipmunk or a black squirrel, yeah.
Bucket of brown paint. Gone wrong.
Yeah.
It
Perfectly
was
gone wrong.
right down the middle. Anyway, I'm
Maybe
going to
someone's
try and
painting
get
the
better
squirrels.
video because there have been numerous sightings of the mutant squirrel in the neighborhood.
It's a talking point.
Yeah,
for
my
your-
son's girlfriend who lives nearby, she has seen it in her backyard. One of my son's friends has seen the mutant squirrel. It's a big deal in Aurora.
So the kids care.
I'm going to try and get more video about it. It's fascinating.
Why don't you try to capture the squirrel?
The mutant squirrel?
Yeah.
You see, we had an incident a couple of years ago where a little baby squirrel fell out of a tree.
Yeah.
And so we adopted it, our family. And then my kids were very young at the time, so I was trying to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
We have to take care of the squirrel and nurture it back to health.
For sure.
And then our neighbors came out and they said, I said, the squirrel fell out of your tree. We're going to nurture it back to health. And they said, we'll take care of it. And then they killed it.
The same guy with the chainsaw.
What the hell?
They didn't kill it per se, but they just stuck it in a little box at the bottom of a tree, like hoping its mom would come find it. And then they went to check on it
That's
a couple
like
of
the
hours. And it
stupidest
was
thing.
dead. I know.
Never heard of that.
I would have nurtured that squirrel back to life, and we would have had a pet squirrel.
Would you have fed the squirrel with your mouth? Like chewed up its food and then like a baby bird.
I think I would have.
Yeah.
Do you think that squirrel would have stayed and loved me and always recognized me if it saw me
I think
years
so.
later?
I think
Could
so.
have been. Could have been like those guys with the lion. They raised the lion. Remember?
And then the lion ate him.
Yeah.
No. There's a
would not end
video.
well.
I can't remember who.
Yeah,
the
I know
guys
what
are.
you're saying.
But I know.
I know what you're saying.
I've seen
You've
it
seen
too.
it. Yeah.
I know the
The
light
Lion
comes back
King?
and the lions
And
come
the
and hug him.
lion's
It's
hugging
sweet.
him, man.
But there is a similar story
Yeah.
that was just on. We could play the things that I saw on Twitter theme. A lion guy came back to see these old lions that he'd raised, and the lion mauled him to death.
Yeah, that's and I think that's like a 95%
You think the squirrel would maul
chance.
me to death?
Try to.
Tried.
Might like grab your nuts or something.
I could have become famous though. I would have been known as Squirrel Guy.
Is that what you want to be famous
That's
for?
what you want to do. Yeah, exactly.
Here's creepy
I picked a
squirrel
better
guy.
name.
He feeds it with his mouth.
Costanza had to deal with the squirrels. Didn't work out.
Oh.
The week that was brought to you by iDrinkCoffee.com.
Middle of the morning, can't keep my eyes open, cause I got to have a cup of jabba. I got to have a cup of jabba. So I better log on to I Drink Coffee, iDrinkCoffee.com. Woo-hoo. iDrinkCoffee.com.
Just reading on CNN in front of us, Melania Trump undergoing kidney surgery at Walter Reed Center. So we hope that Melania is okay.
That's
she
a
is.
cover.
And there might be someone who's very concerned
That's
about that.
that's a cover. She's not in hospital at all. She's away with Rod. Rod Smith, baby. That's exactly what's going on.
Oh, dear.
Fake news, James. Fake news.
Puffy, this week's episode of A-Hole or A-OK just fell right into our laps this week, and
Very
unfortunately, I'm the perpetrator, I guess. One more time.
Is it A-hole or is it A-okay?
I didn't even think this was a possibility for A-Hole or A-OK. And then as soon as I mentioned it, Puffy just...
We could have also done this about the Delta too.
Puffy went
Absolutely.
So
for sure.
you've had a bad week, buddy.
yeah, I think I have. So, my mom came down to visit. It's Mother's Day. My two sisters had a vacation planned, so they were gone. So, of course, I wanted to have my mom down with my family. And so, my mom lives about 3 hours from here at the cottage, Leicester. And so, she came down. I would try to figure out the best way to get her here. And I picked her up at the bus station.
Oh, no. You had your mom come down
Mother.
on the bus?
How old's your mother, James?
She's 85.
85.
Oh, my God.
But listen, we talked this over, my mother and I and the family. There were three options. There was one that I would drive the 3 hours and pick her up and bring her down. But it was difficult.
Which is the option.
There was a Jets game happening that day. It was very tricky. I didn't know how I could get there, get back, do the sports center and all that, like obligations of my career.
The Jets game starts in the evening, I believe.
She could Sports Center, you know that it starts as soon as the
4:30.
Canada Games or the
4:30.
World Championships are done at 4:30.
So let's go back.
There was, I guess I could have left at 8 in the morning and probably gotten back.
8 in the morning.
There was, but then I would have been tired on air and let down our viewers. So where's my obligation lie? She was going to drive to the train station in Kingston and take the train. I would have picked her up at the train station, but she's a little nervous with the driving because Dad didn't let her drive very much.
Yep.
Or she had a neighbor to drive her to the bus 15 minutes away, a nice, cozy Greyhound.
Yep.
And I would pick her up at the Scarborough Town Center. And I have to say, the Scarborough Town Center, for everybody outside of Toronto, it's a pretty sketchy spot. And the bus stay, I had no idea where the buses came. I've never dealt with a bus. I'd never go on a bus.
Hold on, so you would never put yourself on a bus,
I would never
but
do
felt
that.
comfortable putting your mother
It's right
on.
by the YMCA.
She's
where they
tougher
drop
than
off
I.
people.
But I couldn't see her, so I was parked up this ramp about 200 meters from where I could see the buses pulling in.
Whoa. You're waiting for your mom in your vehicle?
Well, yes, because I was parked illegally.
Why wouldn't you have just parked?
No, I
in
couldn't.
The
There was
parking lot?
nowhere to park close to there. Oh, I could have, but then,
Walked down and greeted your mother.
I don't do that
at
stuff.
The bus station.
No, so I was standing there ready, but then I saw her get off the bus, and she was like, I could see from a distance she was terrified and confused. She didn't know she had her one little bag in each hand, and she didn't know which way to turn. And I was like, Mom, I'm coming down the
From
ramp.
all the toxic fumes at the back of the bus.
God.
She quite enjoyed her little bus ride.
sure
It was
she did.
fine. She had no problem. She was very happy. She had a good meal at Joey's.
Yeah.
Right now
And then
she's
you
enjoying.
dropped her back off
She's
on the way to work.
She's enjoying the comfort of my backyard right now.
She did the overnight.
She's in the hot tub right now.
No chance.
She's
No
living-
chance of a
A-hole or A-OK. Making your mom take the bus. You can be harsh with me.
It's an a-hole move.
Oh. Well, I wonder what Lindsay says when she's in that seat next week. Staff?
I don't know if Lindsay can run the board or not, so I'm a little scared here. I'm going to say a-hole, but you could have sent Puffy.
Exactly. Or you could have sent your son, Jared, to go, who's an adult driver, and given him a moment and a memory with him and his grandma.
Yeah, I feel like I screwed that one up.
You could have listened to his EDM all the way there, and then...
She seemed quite comfortable.
Well, listen. At the end of the day, too, you asked her.
She
You
said
talked to.
there was two young lesbians in front of me. I listened to their entire conversation.
Of course you listened to it. You're 85.
Do we have time? Do we have
My
time?
nephew, by the way, my nephew's a lesbian. I started to sound like it said.
I mean, I have many gay friends.
My father's gay.
My niece is a lesbian. We're a very accepting family, but it was funny. I think she was more entertained by the discussion than anything else. So.
Do we have time for one more? One more?
Yeah.
Okay. So today there was, how you getting these alerts on your phone now?
Amber Alert.
There was an Amber Alert today.
Yeah.
Now I have to say, I think it's an excellent system. I think it's a very good thing.
Right.
Why not take advantage of the technology? But this Amber Alert was for somebody who was missing from Thunder Bay.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a little bit of backlash that I saw on social media. Some people are saying, "Oh, it's terrible. What an inconvenience." It's
Don't clog up my phone with your missing children things.
So is that legitimate? Is it?
No.
It's not.
No.
So that's an A.
It's
that's
not
an
a-
It literally doesn't even bother you. Like, I look around my surroundings. Any kids? No. Okay.
No.
Well, I can't.
Although
do
I will
anything,
say,
but okay, move along.
It
Like,
flashes on the TV too, and
no.
there's been the odd time where I've been watching a movie like, all right, enough. I've seen it 3 times. No. I think it's a great system, and there are no valid complaints on that.
Yes.
We need to help out.
So
do
you're
whatever
sure?
we can.
You're sure this?
Well, they could have driven from Thunder Bay to Toronto. No.
And it takes how long to drive? It's at least an 8-hour drive. So there's no way this.
Well, maybe the kidnapper had a private helicopter.
or a bus,
fancy,
perhaps.
a bus.
Back
Even
off.
kidnappers wouldn't put them on a bus.
Off with the bus. This was hyped last week, so it's very exciting. It better live up to the expectations. Here's Puffy's hypotheticals.
Buffy's hypotheticals are messing with my mind. Buffy's hypotheticals, what's it gonna be this time? Buffy's hypotheticals are blowing my mind again. Buffy's hypotheticals,
It's the great bank robbery edition of Puffy's hypotheticals. All right, now what are your
boom or bust on this one?
Yeah, you teased this big next week that it was all going to be about some big bank robbery. So paint the picture for us, kids. It better be better than the movie Heat. which is my favorite bank robbery movie ever, along with The Town.
Well, because everyone likes to think they could pull off a bank robbery.
Right. I've thought about it. I've considered it if I ever got desperate.
I'm going to give you a situation now, you as well, Lester and Stoff.
Oh, thank you for including me.
About whether or not you could or would try to do this.
All right.
It's going to be pretty favorable. So there's going to be $3.5 million in the bank.
In the vault?
Now, it's unmarked bills, so if you get it out...
Does it have that little
clean.
ink that's going to explode?
They do not have the ink pellets.
So you're going to be safe.
So
if you're gone, you got that cash.
You win.
All right.
There's one security guard.
Okay. How old?
No formal training. Not a hero.
Standing up or sitting down?
He's not a hero.
Yeah, he's not a hero. Like, this is not some guy who's like...
He's just cashing the
He
paycheck.
is just there as decoration, basically.
All right.
Is he sitting down or standing up?
He
Armed?
is going to be standing.
Armed?
No armed.
I think it'd be sitting down.
He's got no arms? Jesus. This is too easy.
No. Does security guards in banks have guns? Probably, I guess.
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
probably.
We'll give him a gun.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's like a 6-shooter. Right. So it's not like he can like start just firing bullets.
Okay.
Small caliber bullets. I got it.
Now there's 5 tellers.
Okay.
4 of them have families, so lots to live for. But there's one single male who's enjoys first-person shooter games. So he might be your hero here.
He's a Fortnite expert.
So you have to worry about him.
All right.
Hold on. I'm trying to read my...
Okay.
Okay,
do you have
safe-
accomplices?
Hold on, I'll get into that. Safe with the money is very easy to open by the manager.
Okay.
So it's not like he's going to be able to pull any kind of fast ones on.
All right.
Like lots of 9 keys things. 30-second or less silent alarms went down.
They're down.
Silent alarms are down.
You cut the tape.
So no one can do the old
All
under
right.
the button thing.
All right.
You have 2 experienced bank robbers with you, but you are running the show. So you're the guy, you're saying everything. You're not like...
So I have Val Kilmer
You have
and
2
De
guys.
Niro from Heat.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Your getaway driver is Baby from the movie Baby Driver.
Oh, of course.
So if you get in that vehicle, he's going to get you out of Dodge.
Right.
You will have to carry a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
There will be no cell service in the area. And you have 4 minutes until you enter the bank for any kind of police enforcement to get there.
4 minutes?
4 minutes.
So self-service meaning no witnesses
Yeah,
can call.
nobody could do it.
So you've made it very fair. So you're asking us, would you
do it?
under our current circumstances right now?
in life, would you do it? You have a very good chance of pulling this off, but you still have to do some of the work.
Who's in the movies?
Well, I mean, morally, no. 3.5 million. I mean, that's a year for me.
I like to think a couple years, but
wow. No, I wouldn't do it morally, but could I pull it off?
like the excitement of it.
Okay, if I was, let's say I've lost my job at TSN, which is likely inevitable at some point along the way.
In your 80s.
Found out about this thing with your mom in the bus. They might say, yeah, that's it.
Right. I've done much worse than that, probably. So I get let go.
Yep.
I can't get on anywhere else. Mm-hmm. So it's now been 3 years. The mortgage, I have to sell the house.
Kids have fancy needs.
I do consider banks evil. So I want it to be a victimless crime. That's the only way I could pull it off. I don't want anybody hurt. I figure I can tie up the security guy. I'm worried about that one guy. I might have to shoot him in the head, that one, the one hero guy.
So you're going to commit murder.
I think I could pull it off. I think I feel very confident. Yeah, and you never talked about the manager, though. Is he,
I said the manager.
Is his job to, you said the tellers were pretty, they had families. Yeah. The manager's not going to put up a fight, right?
No, he's going to be pretty loud.
4 minutes in and out, and they can get in the safe in a minute. Baby
now
driver.
You got to be able to carry the money, too.
Okay, here's my concern. I'm worried that I'm going to get a couple of rats with the 2 guys. I know they're experienced. Do they know who I am? Could it be one of those things like where you meet them and I'm wearing like a Nixon mask?
It's going to be kind of like the Batman movie, like the Joker. Like they just meet you're just meeting on that day.
I meet the scene. So they don't know me. So once we part ways.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm going to do it.
I think that if I'm gonna rob a bank,
you're out of Elton Ron. You've lost it. Lindsay's taken your place on the podcast.
It's gonna be a pretty good
All
situation.
All right.
You know,
the Bone Diggers have disbanded.
Yep. It could
You
buy
have
a lot of
nothing
amps.
to live
I got
for.
nothing. I got nothing to
Your
lose.
dreads have fallen out.
I've taken down Squirrels all my life. It's not a big deal.
What accent are you doing right now?
De Niro.
I'm trying to do De Niro here. Done De Niro.
Pretty good.
You got. Everybody got a little medical problem. We don't want your money. We want the bank's money. Your money's fine.
This is terrible.
Everybody going down line on the floor.
This is horrible.
The Pacino was in the movie too, huh? Oh.
That was better.
Yeah, I'm gonna take. I'll be there and
Okay.
and rob
So
this
you would
bank,
do it.
Sure.
And you
So
think
it's
you could do
gonna-
it?
Oh, I think I could do it. Yeah.
So it's me, Lester, and Stuff.
I'm a little confused as to why they gave the guy with no formal training a gun, but I'll use that to my advantage, I guess. I think I would do it too. Now, the guy who's a hero, does he have a gun on
No,
him?
he's a teller,
Alright, well.
but he's
Game over for him.
yeah.
I would be okay with knocking him out with the butt of my revolver.
Oh, you do one of those moves?
Yeah.
That would be your
I think
go-to
so.
move?
I'd think so. Or I'd
don't
use the
think I
line,
could
don't anybody be a hero here. I'd use that line. I know you'd do it, right? Because you thought it up.
You thought.
I don't know if I'd do it. I always like to think but I don't think I'd be able to handle the pressure of that moment.
Right.
I would think I would choke.
I think that I would say, I'd bust in right away and say, you are not going to get hurt. I'm not going to hurt any of you. I don't know why I'm now talking like Peter Laviolette. Why am I talking like Peter Laviolette? You're not going to get hurt. I have a family too, even though I have a mask over my face.
Oh, now you're giving
Just
away
stay
clues.
put. Oh, damn it.
No, you're too nice. You're too nice.
All right.
Some old lady's gonna smack you over the head.
You're
Tell you
also
what.
chewing into the 4
I feel like
minutes,
I'd be
so-
good. I feel like I'd be good. That's right.
$1.20. You haven't even
10-minute
grabbed a dollar
monologue,
bill.
yeah. I feel
you
like
gotta
I'd be-
truck $3.5 million out of that bank.
I feel like I'd be good under pressure, that I could handle it.
Yeah, I think I would choke.
Yeah.
I think the moment would get to me.
Do you think you just run out and leave me hanging?
Halfway through, I'd be like, just kidding.
If you make the decision to go in there with a mask on, you got to execute.
You got to have masks of former presidents, though. That's the only way it's cool.
Ask the former presidents.
Or
I
could it
think
be
I'd
a
go
current
scary
president?
faces.
It could be a current president as well. That
People
would
would
also
just
be
think it's him
effective.
while chanting, "No, Bell,
No one robbed
Bell."
banks like me. I'm the best bank robber ever. I'm going to win the Nobel Prize.
Not gonna do it.
No,
Gonna
Bell,
do it.
no, Bell.
Buffy's Hypotheticals is brought to you by the way, the Gansevoort Resort in Turks and Caicos, our newest sponsor. The Gansevoort is the place to go.
I saw something on Twitter with one of the a former NHL player
Yeah.
saying, like, this is my favorite thing besides going to the Gansevoort.
A lot of the NHL guys go there.
they do,
It's
eh?
kind of like the NHL guys' hotel. They'll
Really?
go there on All-Star break or whatever down because it's a perfect place for 4 or 5 days. It's great for a week, great for 2 weeks, but if you only have 4 or 5 days because you can whip down there, it's close to the airport. So there's a lot of the New York Rangers. Lundqvist has been there. We missed Heidi Klum by about a week. I was disappointed in that the last time I was
Wow.
there. I think Snoop was there at some point. as
Doggy
well.
Dogg?
Snoop Doggy Dogg. And last time I was there, there's somebody from The Bachelor, Ben or something. And
Oh,
whoever-
Ben? My dad's timeshare is where they do Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anyway, the Gansevoort is the best. And if you ever have a chance to get down there with your lovely one, you got a new girl maybe? Take her
place
down
to
to the
impress.
Gansey in Turks and Caicos. How we doing here? We should talk about the Draeger Cafe, should we not?
Sure.
The opposite of the Gansevoort.
It is. The Gansevoort also has brilliant restaurants. The Draeger Cafe has become a big deal. Darren Draeger over at the World Championships, he's done this several years in a row. He does something called the Draeger Cafe. He puts up a cute little sign, and he goes and interviews Mike Babcock and Patrick Kane and all the significant players who are over in Europe. I have been relentlessly attacking the Draeger Cafe online simply because there's no food.
No.
First of all, there's no people there.
No.
It'll be just them, and it'll be water on the table. And it's a joke, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, at first when he started it a few years ago, it seemed like, oh, that's a cute idea.
Yeah, it's a
Look
cute
at
idea.
That. Now it's like, come on, you got to start upping your game.
A
and
little
there's been no upping.
bruschetta, perhaps.
Yeah.
So
There's got to be some budget.
I was so hard on the Draeger Cafe that they reacted. And for the Mike Babcock interview, which as we're taping is the latest one they've done there, they put a couple of pieces of fruit and bread on the table, and they thought Draeger thought that had appeased me and would end the criticism. So I responded to him today. I said, by going from nothing to fruit and bread, the Draeger Cafe has transformed its menu from adrift at sea for 184 days in a raft to POW rations. Read more in my Yelp review online. I just think it's unacceptable. A network of this.
Yeah, like why can't you put out a meal
level.
for them?
Yeah. I want to see
bowl of soup.
Aaron Ekblad or Connor McDavid, having some pasta.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
I don't even care what they say.
Yeah.
I just want them to have their mouth full at some point.
An amuse-bouche, an aperitif, something.
Maybe some wine.
Maybe some. Now you're talking.
When you're in Europe.
A little vino.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe a
fancy.
shot.
Yeah.
If a guy has a good answer, Drager does a shot. Or if Drager asks a good question,
Boom.
there's a
Good
shot.
question, bam.
Yeah, there would be nobody drinking in that case.
Oh, wow.
Let's get to Fandom. Lester came up with the Fandom segment
That's
last
right,
week.
everybody.
It was Lester's first chance after his Fandom questions were rejected 74
I
times
wonder by
in a row.
whom they were rejected.
He came up with a decent one where he asked the question, for a prominent athlete, is it better to go bald or to go gray? Our buddy Nick at Fandom, he worded it this way: which is worse when the whole world is staring at your head on TV, snow on the roof or a solar panel? He used
That's very
Alexander.
That's a question.
Yeah, he used Ovechkin and LeBron James for the... I told Lester my concern was that everybody would vote for the gray hair. I mean, worse would be the bald head.
Yeah, worse would be that.
And, if you get like 90% going one way, you'll never get to ask a Fandom question
Yeah, you
again.
need it to be in that happy 45 to 55 zone.
79% said the bald was worse. 21%. So... Lester, he'll be on probation whether he gets to come back for another question or not.
I know I'm out already.
All right, here's some of the answers, though. This is Water Lunatic. Would the Rod Smith Baby Fox compound be a desert if the dome was peeking through the forest to say hello, hello, hello? I enjoyed that.
Good.
Dan Noseworthy says a little snow on the roof may work for bankers and real estate agents, but Mark Messier wouldn't be half as intimidating if he was rocking the silver fox look. Ditch
That's
the
actually
gray.
a good answer.
Bust out the razor. Dan Noseworthy in contention for a book. I hate to read the Puffy's mom ones.
Oh, come on.
I hate to,
This guy's
especially
backing
right after Mother's Day. But
a Mother's Day note.
But he is so creative, and it got so many upticks. I think it was the most popular response. So this is from Puffy's mom. I've been with a lot of men. Brackets, like a lot. And it's always a little awkward if they're bald. I mean, I still have my fun, but I prefer hair even if it's gray. Puffy's mom.
You'll die a slow
This one's from I Can Bench 3 James Duthys. Going bald is worse. When you have hair, you can at the very least touch it up and give it, say, a chestnut brown hue. A color claimed to be natural by a certain someone sitting on the left. Boom. Again, $1 million, my job, my family, my children, to anyone who can ever prove that I have dyed my hair.
I've come around
to the belief that it's natural?
Natural. But
That it's
you
real and
realize
spectacular.
you've put yourself in Lance Armstrong territory.
That's fine.
Where if it's ever proven,
that's why I'm offering.
you will be doing
anything.
an Oprah.
I will do
The Canadian Oprah.
I will de-pants myself on the panel and end my career that way.
Yeah.
If someone can ever come to me and prove it. I would like to have a hair person in to examine my hair, if possible.
That's a great idea.
Chico24, just because there's snow on the roof, that doesn't mean there ain't a raging inferno in the furnace.
Ooh.
Having said that, I hit a certain age and gravity took over. I can't grow a strand on top from the ears down. I'm a veritable jungle. Oh, but from the ears down, I'm a veritable jungle. Hashtag, please don't let Puffy location scout me for Murder Island. He's saying his hair is a jungle. That's pretty good. Chico24. Who are we going to give this to? Did you like the Dan Noseworthy?
Everyone but his mom.
All right. Chico, you can write me, and Dan Noseworthy, too. I think you earned books. Thank you for participating in our Fandom segment this week. The question this week we were going to ask about Vegas. I'm going to make it a really simple sports question, all right? Vegas was a warm, fuzzy story before, and they may well go down to the Jets. It's 1-0. It's game 2 the day we're taping this podcast. Mm-hmm. If Vegas wins the Stanley Cup, is it a wonderful, against the odds, feel great historical story, or is it a slap in the face to hockey fans who supported their team forever, and maybe they haven't won a cup in, Puffy, 60-odd years or something like that?
Yeah, it's a while ago.
It's a referendum on Vegas. Very simple question here on Fandom this week.
I think it's fine. I like the Vegas story. They've done a great job.
Lester, you're a Habs fan,
I'm a Habs
long
fan.
starving.
Listen, this question is hotly debated. I'm a little bit concerned at the end. I don't think it's good for Vegas to win. I think they should bow out now. I mean, compete, but it's not a good story if you win the cup in the first 3 years. Where do you go from there?
It's actually a great question. I think it'll be really cool to witness. And so, again, selfishly, as we always think about things, it'll be very cool to be there and see Vegas win. And like, oh my gosh, this will never happen again in our lifetime.
Will people be crying in the crowd?
I don't know.
I've waited my whole year for this.
To Lester's point, I don't know that it's good for the game.
How's it really bad for the game?
Because it's so hokey.
Look, you can buy. It's just so you can buy a franchise and
they bought the
spend
franchise.
millions of dollars, and everything's lined up for them. I mean, honestly, they had that one team coming in, especially they had a great team on paper. You know,
but day one of the season, it wasn't like anyone was saying, "Look at this roster, that's a cup contender."
No, you're right. They did a good job, and the fact that
everyone's played well.
They've made a lot of GMs look really stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Bob McKenzie has said a couple times he at one point that he thought Vegas was going to be a contender, and he was right.
He didn't say that at the beginning of the season.
No,
he might have said that in December
so
or something
what
like
do
that.
I know?
But we all thought it was going to pop at a certain point, and it just didn't happen. But great question anyway. Answer on Fandom. We'll give out some stuff. I got a couple of special prizes before our season ends that we'll give you as well. I was at my daughter's track meet last week, and one of the intern candidates came up and introduced himself to me and said, "Hey, I applied for the internship 6 months ago."
It's a thorough process. We're doing a lot of vetting.
We're vetting heavily. He was a very nice guy, very nice young man. He's actually a big fan of the podcast and has started his own podcast with his buddy, inspired by the Rubber Boots podcast.
Awesome.
So for the interns, once again, I do promise the intern will be named at the end of the season to be intern for season 3. We're currently Puffy and I have spent hours and hours poring over, going through interviews.
Yep.
Thousands of
mock interviews.
Mock interviews. We're getting ready. We want to make sure we're ready. We're like Trump's lawyers. We're going over every question beforehand.
We're vetting our own
just to make sure there's no mistakes.
There's no trouble.
So anyway, the internship will happen. I wanted to make a note on sponsors. So we thank again idrinkcoffee.com, our friends at Fandom, and our friends at the Gansevoort Resort in Turks and Caicos, our newest sponsors. If you if you own a company, we have a lot of highbrow listeners to the podcast. If you'd like to sponsor, there's lots of segments you can sponsor. You could be our title sponsor next year. And we actually have an email. I forgot this. Like our Mr. Wolf, Nicole, she set us up for an email.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I'm probably making a mistake in doing this now because I don't have it. But isn't it like rubberbootspod at bellmedia.ca?
Probably.
I think it is.
Should I tell you what we're going to do? I will look it up, and Stoff will insert it. So if you would like to sponsor the podcast or know of someone that would, you can write us at
rubberboots@bellmedia.ca.
And you do every version, like rubberboots.com 69.
Yeah.
And hopefully we have the password for that one, too.
That's right. Might take us a while to get in there. But if you need to contact us for anything, that's probably where the interns should forward. If we get further in the process, we'll use our new email. Don't clog us up with no junk just because we put our email out there, all right, folks?
Perhaps Greyhound will sponsor us, James.
You're obviously a big fan.
I could do the spot for that. Greyhound. When my mom needs a ride, and I won't give her one, she rides Greyhound. I don't think that's going to happen. Those Greyhound folks, I made them, like Mom had to pick up her ticket at this little cafe on Highway 7. And I phoned the Greyhound folks and I said, how's she going to do this? Because she's 85, like she doesn't have a printer at home. Is it an e-ticket? No, we don't have e-tickets yet. She has to print it. Well, she can't print it because she doesn't have a printer at the cottage. Oh, then you can select the will call option and she can pick it up at will call. Oh, okay, so there is a will call at this little cafe on the highway? Yes, no problem. You go in there. So Mom goes in and says, I'm here to pick up my ticket. And they said, oh, we can't do that here. Oh, this is just a little cafe. You got to have a ticket.
And then he probably said,
So Mom
"Is
had
your
to
son coming to get you?"
Mom had to talk her way onto the bus. She had to talk her way past the driver.
Lucky she's
make
a
him look
deafie.
worse. So look, Greyhound, the only way you can make it up to us is sponsor the damn podcast.
That's right.
Besides that, we will hound you relentlessly. That was horrible. Thanks for listening to episode 30 of the Rubber Boots Pod. We'll be back again with bonus episodes for the rest of the season until we take the summer off.
How are ya? I got a question that I really wanna ask ya. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? Oh, I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. And I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank or the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? Do you really like the dunk tank at the fair? Dunk tank.
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?